Wildcat fighters, and Avenger torpedo planes. There's nowhere to hide. The Wildcats strafe the transports and beaches with heavy 50 caliber machine guns, literally ripping the enemy apart.
I know that there was a lot of Japanese that jumped off those ships with all their gear on and drowned right there because the water was deeper than they thought it'd be when they jumped off. So the water was full of dead jumps by the time we got there.
7,500 feet above, Bruce McGraw and the bombers of Enterprise roll over into 70-degree dives and drive 1,000-pound bombs into the enemy ships. One by one, the 4 transports and their cargoes of troops and supplies are sent up in flames and torn by machine gun fire. Above the transports, Al Coffin, who led the attack on battleship Hiei, releases a 500-pound bomb directly over his target. It's a direct hit. Another transport eviscerated. Imperial soldiers and sailors are helpless to stop the carnage. It's simply slaughter. In a few short hours, all 4 of the transport vessels are destroyed, along with hundreds of Japanese soldiers and all the supplies of war. The fires on the transports will burn for more than 16 hours. And the bodies of hundreds of Japanese warriors lie dead in the waters surrounding the ships. But the bloodbath has prevented the annihilation of the Marines at Guadalcanal.
The last attempt the Japanese made to take Guadalcanal, we were there and we located the 10 or 12 Japanese transports, and we got all of those with the troops aboard.
We sunk so many of their transports and damaged so many of their ships. We put the fear of God in them that time.
After more than 3 months of horrific combat in the jungles, in the air, and on the sea, U.S. forces have finally tipped the scales at Guadalcanal. Henderson Field belongs to the Marines for good. With the cruel battles of the Eastern Solomons and Santa Cruz still in the hearts and minds of her crew, Enterprise has reaped victory and has settled the score.
When they passed the word that we had secured Guadalcanal, we all were very happy. Very, very happy. It was a long, long battle. We lost quite a few men. A lot of my friends there got hurt.
Back on Guadalcanal, Bruce McGraw and the dive bomber pilots from Enterprise get a special thanks from the battle-weary grunts they've literally saved from annihilation.
They started giving us souvenirs, and one of them gave me a flag, about this big square, had symbols, Jap symbols all the way around it. And this was an individual flag, it belonged to an individual. And they say that when these Japs were issued those flags, that their friends would write notes of goodbye and good luck. I don't know where I ever got such a welcome and such an expression of appreciation as I got from those Marines down there on that front line.
For the first time in the Pacific War, the Big East pilots have gotten a close-up look at the horrors of ground warfare that they will not soon forget. The camaraderie and thanks is a testament to the common bond among fighting men and a special partnership between the crew of Enterprise and the riflemen in the jungle.
When the rains come in and they're lying there in the mud holding that line, I have informed several people, don't say anything not in good taste about a United States Marine, or you might find me right in the middle of it, because I've got tremendous respect for the United States Marine Corps. All they stand for, you can't help it. After a tour on Guadalcanal,
when rounds are flying, There's no such thing as, well, he's in the Navy, or well, he's in the Marine Corps, or he's in the Army, or he's this, or he's that, or she's this, or she's that. Doesn't matter. When rounds are flying, one thing matters, is that we're Americans. That's the end of that.
For the Japanese, defeat in the November clash at Iron Bottom Sound destroys any hope for victory at Guadalcanal. They will simply have to let the Americans keep Henderson Field.
We were beginning to get the upper hand, and pretty soon the Japanese got tired of losing all those men, and they gave it up.
Throughout the winter, American forces will continue to eliminate the last of the enemy troops still dug in on the island.
I think that really starts to plant the seeds within the Japanese Navy that they're going to have to re-examine this situation, and that we may have to start considering the unconsiderable, which is that we may have to get out of Guadalcanal. We may have to evacuate it.
The naval edge that they possessed prior to the naval battle of Guadalcanal, they lost it effectively, and so that in the aftermath of the naval battle of Guadalcanal, the Tokyo Express, which had nightly operated to and from Guadalcanal, it was for the most part interrupted and no longer capable of offering any significant resupply or replenishment of forces on the island. And that American forces were increasingly able to control Japanese naval activities in the waters around Guadalcanal at night.
For the Imperial Japanese Navy, the battle for Guadalcanal is over. They will have to make a stand somewhere else.
At the close of the year 1942, the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise, her air group, her shipboard crew, have been through almost all that combat against Japan could offer. They've stood the test of combat well, they've fought well, they've already made a remarkable name for the ship, and it's not even 1943 yet. And the best is yet to come.
In the islands of the Central Pacific, Japanese Army and naval forces will prepare for a coming battle unlike anything they've ever seen. And Carrier Enterprise, her pilots and crew, will be there, ready and waiting. Soon on Battle 360, with victory at Guadalcanal secured, Enterprise will undergo major modifications in the shipyards of Bremerton, Washington. And within a few short months, she will come back stronger than ever before. New planes, new guns, a tougher ship. The Big E will be joined by a massive fleet of brand new carriers, and she will head out on one of the largest naval campaigns in history. Enterprise, the Gray Ghost, will once again hit the enemy hard in the Gilbert Islands. Her first stop on the hard road to Tokyo, the heavily fortified enemy base at Makin Atoll, where, in a matter of days, her air groups will rain terror from the skies over the Japanese outpost. And in the darkness of night, Enterprise will make naval history.